few years ago, I genuinely thought I was doing everything right to lose weight. I was eating healthy, I was working out, I knew the rules. But especially after having kids, nothing was changing. And what I eventually realized was this: knowing what to do and being able to stick to it and actually see results are two completely different things. Most of the habits that finally changed my body weren't extreme. They weren't complicated. They were small changes that compounded over time. So in this video, I want to share 8 tiny habits that help you finally lose weight this year without starting over every Monday or burning yourself out. Before we get into the habits, I want to make this practical for you because this is important. Not every habit works the same way for everybody. And yes, I already know some people are going to say, body types are old science, or there's just no such thing. Here's how I think about it. In theory, sure, you can say weight loss follows the same basic principles for everyone. But after years of working with real women, hundreds of clients, and even watching patterns in people in my own life, I can tell you this: one size fits all advice is where most people get stuck. Some women thrive with higher carbs, some feel terrible, some need more training volume, others stall when they overdo it. So I use body type not as a rigid label, but as a starting point, a way to narrow the guesswork and reduce frustration. That's why if you want help figuring out which habits on this list matter most for your body, I've linked my free body type quiz below. It takes about 1 minute, it's free, and it helps you personalize things like how much food you actually need, how your body tends to respond to carbs, and how much training volume makes sense for you. You can take it now or come back to it later. Either way, it'll make the rest of this video click a lot faster. All right, let's get into the habits. As you're listening, don't think you need to do all 8 of these. Just pay attention to the one that feels almost too easy, because that's usually the one that actually sticks. All right, let's start with the first habit. Habit number 1 is eating protein first at just 1 meal per day. This one looks almost too simple to matter, but it's one of the biggest patterns I see in women who finally lose weight. You're not tracking, you're not weighing food, you're not changing what you eat. You're just eating the protein on your plate first at 1 meal per day. That's it. When you do this, a few important things happen without you trying. Your blood sugar stays more stable. You stay fuller longer, and you're far less likely to overeat later in the day. And I want to be really clear here. I'm not asking you to do this at every meal, just one. For most women, breakfast or lunch is the easiest place to start. If you normally grab toast or coffee first in the morning, try flipping the order. Protein first, then everything else. It feels small, but over time, this habit alone can dramatically change appetite and your consistency. All right, let's move into the second habit, because this one solves a huge reason people fall off track. Habit number 2 is anchoring one repeatable meal. This habit has nothing to do with willpower. It's about decision fatigue. Most women don't struggle because they don't know what to eat. They struggle because they're exhausted by having to decide what to eat over and over again. So pick one meal, usually breakfast or lunch, that you eat the same or almost the same most days. Not because it's perfect, not because it's trendy, but because it's easy. When one meal is already decided, everything else feels lighter. You're not constantly negotiating with yourself. You're not overthinking food from the moment you wake up. This isn't about eating boring food forever. It's about creating consistency during busy seasons, and that consistency is what drives results. And once you've taken some of the thinking out of one meal, this next habit just makes the rest of your meals easier without overcomplicating anything. Habit number 3 is building your meals around protein and produce. This one is for you if tracking stresses you out. Instead of thinking about calories or macros or numbers, I just want you to ask yourself 2 things when you're putting a meal together. Where's my protein? And where's something with fiber? That's it. It doesn't mean you can't have carbs. It doesn't mean you're cutting foods out. It just gives your meal a base so you're not eating something and then wondering why you're starving an hour later. When there's protein and some kind of produce on the plate, most people feel more satisfied without trying to eat less. And the reason I like this habit so much is because it works in real life. At home, eating out, grabbing something quick, it gives you something simple to come back to without tracking everything. And this is also where I see a lot of differences between people. Some women feel great when they add more carbs to that plate. Others notice they're hungrier later or their energy crashes. That doesn't mean one way is right or wrong. It just means your body has patterns. And instead of forcing yourself into someone else's plan, it's usually way easier to start with those patterns and adjust from there. Okay, so once food starts feeling a little easier and less overwhelming, the next place I like to focus is movement, but not an exercise more kind of way. Habit number 4 is adding a short walk after one meal. This is one of those habits that feels almost too small to matter, but it does. I'm not talking about long walks. I'm not talking about hitting a step goal, and I'm definitely not talking about doing this after every meal. Just pick one meal, usually dinner works best. Just go for a 5 to 10 minute walk after. That's it. You can walk around the block, you can push the stroller, you can literally pace your driveway or your house. Short walks after meals help your body handle blood sugar better, which matters way more for fat loss than most people realize, especially for women. And the reason I love this habit is because it doesn't feel like working out. It feels like something you can actually do even when you're tired. Low effort, easy to repeat, still counts. And once you have something like that in place, this next one is probably the biggest difference I see between women who feel stuck and women who actually start seeing their body change. Habit number 5 is lifting heavy at least 2 times per week. If fat loss feels harder than it used to, this habit matters a lot. And when I say lift heavy, I don't mean complicated workouts or spending hours in the gym. I just mean this. Those last 2 or 3 reps should feel hard. You shouldn't finish every set feeling like you could have done 10 more. Lifting heavy is what tells your body to hold onto muscle, and muscle is what keeps your metabolism responsive, especially as you get older or after having kids. And the biggest mistake I see, women either avoid strength training altogether or they lift super light and just turn it into cardio. You don't need 5 workouts a week. You don't need long workouts. You don't need to be destroyed. 2 solid strength sessions per week is enough to make a real difference if you're actually challenging yourself. And if you want to do more than that, great. But 2 per week is enough to see real change. And for most women, the issue isn't knowing this. It's what happens when a week doesn't go according to plan. Which brings me to habit number 6. And this one is huge if you tend to be all or nothing. Habit number 6 is stopping the all or nothing mindset with workouts. If your plan says 2 workouts and you can only do 1, do the 1. Skipping everything because you can't do it perfectly is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck. Missing a workout doesn't stall progress. Quitting the week does. The women who see results long term are the ones who stop treating an off week like a failure and start treating it like part of the process. And once you stop quitting on yourself during imperfect weeks, the next thing that really matters is how you're measuring progress. Because if you're only using the scale or the mirror, you're probably missing what's actually changing. Habit number 7 is tracking progress weekly. And yes, that includes progress photos. This one is huge. And honestly, it's where I see a lot of women get really discouraged for no reason. Because the scale lies and the mirror lies. The scale can be up because you're sore, stressed, didn't sleep, or you're about to start your period. And the mirror, you're seeing yourself every single day. So it's really hard to notice small changes. Progress photos don't lie. And I know a lot of people avoid them because they're uncomfortable. But avoiding them doesn't make the progress easier. It just makes it more confusing. I've had so many clients swear nothing is changing, and then we look at their photos side by side and it's like, oh, there it is. So here's what I recommend. Once per week. Same lighting, same pose, that's it. You don't need daily weigh-ins. You don't need to analyze your body every morning. You just need one consistent check-in so you're not making emotional decisions based on one data point. Because when you can actually see progress, it becomes way easier to stay consistent. And this last habit is what keeps you going when life gets chaotic, because it's inevitable. Habit number 8 is deciding your bare minimum ahead of time. This one is honestly what keeps everything else from falling apart, because life is going to get busy. Kids get sick, work gets crazy, sleep is bad, and motivation drops. And if you don't decide ahead of time what staying on track looks like in those seasons, it's really easy to just stop. So instead of asking, what does perfect look like this week? I want you to ask, what does my bare minimum look like? Maybe it's 2 workouts instead of 4, protein at 1 meal per day, 1 walk this week, or just not completely checking out. That still counts. Progress doesn't come from perfect weeks stacked back to back. It comes from non-zero weeks, weeks where you stayed connected to the habits instead of quitting. And the women who keep results long-term aren't the ones who never fall off. They're the ones who don't turn a hard week into a hard month. If you noticed a pattern with all of these 8 habits, it's this. None of them require motivation. They just require a decision you can keep. So if you take anything away from this video, let it be this. You don't need to do all 8 of these habits at once. You don't need a reset. And you definitely don't need to be more disciplined. You just need 1 or 2 habits you can repeat even when life is busy. That's how real weight loss happens. Not from doing more, but from doing the right things consistently. And if you want help figuring out which of these habits actually matter most for your body, I'll link my free body type quiz below. It takes about 1 minute and it helps you personalize things like how much food you actually need, how your body tends to respond to carbs, and how much training volume makes sense for you. You can take it now or come back to it later. Either way, it'll help you stop guessing and start focusing on what actually works for you. If you're new here, I'm Rebekah. I'm a dietitian and trainer, and I help busy moms lose weight in a way that actually fits real life without extreme diets or burning themselves out. If this video was helpful, make sure to like it, subscribe, and stick around. I post new videos every week on simple, realistic fat loss for moms. And if you want to make this habit thing actually stick, click here and watch this video. I'll see you in the next one.